What up everyone, I am Gallon Havoc, and I'm back with another review. So last time I covered Shadow of the Colossus, and if you watched my update from the quarantine video, you know what's next. Now as promised, we are covering the remake of Resident Evil 3. So before we begin, I just want to say that Resident Evil has always been a big deal for me. I probably rank it 4th in my favorite game franchises. It is what got me into the horror genre, introducing memorable monsters, characters, and games. I am one of the select few who did enjoy Resident Evil 6. It's a shit game, I know, but I had fun with it. Fast forward to 2019, we had the very successful remake of Resident Evil 2, and it soon became clear what's next. Capcom had to do it, and it happened. Resident Evil 3 was remade not even a year later, and I will admit I was thoroughly excited for this, more so than 2, because I honestly always preferred the original 3 over 2. No disrespect to my boy Leon, but Jill Valentine was always one of my favorite Resident Evil characters next to Ada and my actual favorite, Wesker.
You haven't changed.
And let's not forget the mascot of Resident Evil 3, Nemesis, who remains one of my favorite monsters in history. So this remake had a lot to deliver for me. The question is, did it? Let's delve into it. Like its predecessor, the game utilizes the over-the-shoulder third-person view first introduced in Resident Evil 4, which became the staple of the series until Resident Evil 7. I was all for it. That is the way to play Resident Evil if you ask me. Long gone are the days of the fixed camera angles of the originals, which were good for the time, but the change was very welcome to adapt to modern times. That and both the remakes of 2 and 3 use the new RE engine seen in Resident Evil 7 and Devil May Cry 5, delivering a truly breathtaking upgraded graphical experience. Like the remake of 2, they return to the survival horror roots, making ammo scarce and the atmosphere unsettling and in some cases really terrifying. And the game's biggest draw? The big boy himself, Nemesis, who was given a huge overhaul in both his looks and gameplay. You thought Mr. X was scary. He couldn't run or jump or use tentacles to catch you. Nemesis can. And he's smarter too. Not only can he predict your movements, he can use weapons like a flamethrower or a goddamn rocket launcher, just like in the original. And all you can think is, run. Not only that, but his transformations were given new looks too. Not gonna lie, I think I prefer this to his original second form. Anyway, the game is overall a good experience, except for one very particular, very large flaw. It is so damn
short. He admitted it. He's starting to face reality.
The game can be beaten in an hour and a half given sufficient skill and equipment. The infinite rocket launcher you can unlock is a real game breaker. Even the story was really cut down to size, utilizing a much more linear route than that of the original, where there were many choices you could make to change how you progress, even if it was still fairly linear. This is Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2 all over again. However, I can see why they did it. The original Resident Evil 3's choices denied the game from having a truly coherent story, which makes the removal of said choices justified. Even their treatment of Nemesis was cut down a lot. In the original, Nemesis would show up at random, while here, his appearances are scripted. However, once again, coherency. But I will admit, in my first couple of playthroughs when he busts through that brick wall, it took me by surprise every time, even when I knew it was coming.
Okay, turn it off. It didn't work. It did not work.
However, do these changes make the game bad? No. Hell no. This game is a very polished, very good experience, even if it is very short and very quick. Which brings me to this. Shorter games are very necessary in the gaming industry. Now I'm not saying I don't like 20+ hour games, I love them. But once in a while, a game you can breeze through and beat in a matter of hours is refreshing. It's like a small vacation from work, or even a day or two off. That small break from a 20 to 30 hour grind just revitalizes you. like a breath of fresh air. And when you go back to said 40-hour game, rinse and repeat. Give yourself a break. Am I the only one who believes that? That is something I actually really like in games like this. A game you can pick up and experience for a bit, and then go back to your regular scheduled grind. However, I will admit, a game this short should not have been $80+. Keep in mind, I'm Canadian, so our price tags are a bit bigger than the Americans. I would definitely recommend picking this game up at sale price or used. Anyway, the remake even incorporates a multiplayer mode called Resistance, where 4 survivors have to survive and escape a building while a mastermind activates traps and sends infected creatures after them. Now, people were really criticizing this, but me personally, I think it's a decent concept, even if the execution is very flawed. It does give you the chance to play as Nemesis, though. But back to the actual game. As a whole, Resident Evil 3's remake is a decent experience, though very short, but I find it was necessary to deliver a coherent story to the original. While part of me does hope for a story DLC that maybe adds some concepts from the original, I'm mostly at peace with what we got. It's a good game, polished, fluid, very fun. And I do feel like they did the characters and Nemesis justice, in both looks and story. I even played through the game in Jill's classic RE3 outfit, which really gave me a good sense of nostalgia. I do kinda wish they gave Nemesis a classic skin too, but I am happy with the way he looks. The same goes for Carlos. His new black-haired, bearded, almost Keanu Reeves look was a welcome change, especially since his classic look just looks odd in modern graphics. But in the end, I am giving Resident Evil 3, the remake, a gallant rating of 3 out of 5. Length and differences from the original aside, I did really like this game. Now with the PS5 on the horizon, we are getting Resident Evil 8 Village, which will return to the first-person view of 7. So I guess that means I have to play 7 now, as I have yet to do that. I know, I'm behind. But if 3 is any indicator, a remake of 4 is inevitable in the coming years. Part of me really hopes that's not the case, but we will see what the future holds. Anyway guys, I'm Gallon Havoc, and I will see you in the next one.